Namaste and hello everyone. Over 5 BRPs and 8 years in the UK, I have learned a thing or two. My name is Shivika and I am here to help you navigate life in the UK. I am back on YouTube after a really long time, and I thought to myself, what could be the best way to restart this journey or to bring something that is very useful to people who follow me or people who find my content useful. And that's why the topic for today is 5 things that you must know about the new skilled worker visa and the updates that have come with it. I've actually just come back on this video after 30 minutes because I got a call from my mom, but let's get back onto it now. Also, stay tuned till the end of this video because I will be answering 3 questions on the skilled worker visa that I have received from you guys on my Instagram channel. So stay tuned till the end because I will be answering those questions for you and simplifying it a little bit further. So before we go into the 5 points, I just want to put across this reason that you all must be thinking about, that why exactly is it that the UK government is making everything so much stricter and there is so many new rules that are coming up. And I would like to just put it into 3 words, that is very high immigration. The numbers I have listed down in the caption below, but there has been a huge increase in the immigration in the last few years, especially since COVID, and that's the reason all these new rules have been implemented or were even discussed in the first place. So without further ado, let's go to point number 1, that is the skilled worker visa minimum salary hike. Now, to put things into perspective, the minimum salary on the skilled worker visa has now been increased from 26,200 per year to 38,700, and this was implemented on the 4th of April 2024. Now you must wonder, does this apply to me? I have been on the skilled worker visa. Will I be also falling under the category of 38,700? So let me give you this good news, and I'm sure you must be aware of it already, but it does not apply to you. So if you've been on the skilled worker visa or you applied for it before the 4th of April 2024, then this new threshold of salary, which is 38,700, does not apply to you. So even when you go on to extend your visa or you switch to this visa or you eventually apply for settlement, this does not apply to you. Now, a little twist to this little requirement of not applying that rule retrospectively: if you have been on the skilled worker visa before 4th of April 2024, then you need to apply for your extension or for your settlement under that category of low salary threshold before April 4th, 2030. That is something that has not been mentioned on a lot of Instagram videos that I see, but it's something that I have figured out and it's something that you should be aware of. So if you've applied or if you've been on the skilled worker visa since, say, 3rd April 2024, then you should be applying for your extension if there is one. And if you want to apply for settlement, that is the UK PR, it should be done before 4th of April 2030. Otherwise, you fall under the new category, that is the new salary threshold, which they will be announcing based on what happens 6 years from now. Now, in my Instagram video, I did mention about who can be paid less than the general salary threshold, which is 38,700. And yes, there are some occupations that can be paid less than 38,700 and still be eligible for the skilled worker visa. I have listed them in different pointers in the caption, but if you want a detailed video on that, because it is a detailed topic as to who a new entrant is or who really qualifies for the lower salary threshold, then I'm happy to make one and post it real soon so you understand who can be paid less. The second big update is the dependents. Now, from the 11th of March 2024, social care workers, that is care workers and senior care workers, are not allowed to bring any dependents, that is your wife or your partner, and any children to the UK with yourself. If you were given the social care worker visa or the healthcare worker visa before the 11th March 2024, you are still eligible to bring in dependents. And you must be on the health and care worker visa when you're applying for it or you're extending it, then you are eligible. And the third reason could be if you're switching your visa from the health and care worker visa to a different occupation code but within the same industry. So anyone applying for any extensions or applying for their dependents to move with them, you are only eligible to apply if you applied for your healthcare worker visa or have been on it before the 11th of March 2024. Number 3 major update that is there is for family visas. Now, again, over here, the minimum salary income has been increased. Minimum income to sponsor a spouse has increased from 18,600 to 29,000 from 11th April 2024, where there are also plans to increase it to 38,700 by early 2025. So if you would like to bring in a family member, a relative, or a spouse partner into the UK, then their minimum income requirement has changed to 29,000 from 11th April. Again, this does not apply retrospectively. Anyone who was sponsored on it before the 11th April still can apply on the usual salary, which was 18,600, but any new applications will have to go through this rule. So for any future extensions or settlement applications on the family visa, if you have been on the visa before 11th April, you will be eligible to apply with the minimum income, or you just need to demonstrate the minimum income of 18,600. Now the fourth update, and we are so close to the fifth one and the 3 questions that you have asked me and I'm going to answer for you. The fourth update is that the shortage occupation list, which I have discussed so much about on my Instagram reels and which has been kind of taken use of so much because of people who really wanted to be on the shortage occupation, is now renamed or has been replaced by the immigration salary list. The immigration salary list has a hiked salary for all the shortage occupations, and the occupation codes have changed more or less for a lot of those occupations. And the reason why this has been done is there was again an examination in terms of whether these occupations still fall under the shortage occupation, and if not, they've been taken out, and if they still fall, they're still held there in that immigration salary list, but the salary has now been reconsidered and updated. It has increased though, but reconsidered, and it's still on there. The salary on the immigration salary list is lower than the usual skilled worker salary, and all the salaries and all the occupations have been linked in the caption below. You can have a look and see if you fit in there and if you qualify for it. And number 5, we've come to the end of this video, or close to the end of this video. And this one is super important for people on the skilled worker visa because it gives you so much more freedom. If you remember, when you applied for your skilled worker visa, you were only allowed to work 20 hours, up to 20 hours in the same occupation and not work anywhere else. But this has been changed. You can now work up to 20 hours in any other job as long as it qualifies in the eligible occupation code. I have listed the eligible occupation codes in the caption below. You can have a look and see if you want to earn a little extra, or if you want to do a little extra hours, about 5, 10, 15 or 19 or even 20. And you can work and choose from any of those occupations and probably start a side hustle if that's something you want to do. And you can work on your own business. So this particular change is really useful for anyone who is struggling to do more hours just because of that restriction of just working within your job role. And this is really huge for all people on the skilled worker visa. Sorry, I live right next to this really busy road and it's annoying and noisy, but it is what it is. So yes, these were the 5 updates that you needed to know about the skilled worker visa, and that have kind of changed so much in the last, I would say, 6 months for anyone working in the UK or anyone wanting to work in the UK. Well, it's time to answer questions, and the questions that you have sent to me. I've only shortlisted 3 for this one, but I'm sure for the next round of videos there'll be more questions, or I'll just do a video on questions and answers. But the first question that I would like to address is, can I bring dependents on my health and care visa after 11th March 2024? To answer this simply, no, you cannot, I'm afraid. You cannot bring dependents on your health and care worker visa as a care worker or a senior care worker after 11th March because it's just not allowed. But If you've been on the health and care worker visa as a care worker or a senior care worker before 11th of March and you did not have your dependents, you can still bring them. That's something that has not been covered again in some of the videos, but this is to tell you that yes, if you've been on the route before 11th March but you did not bring your dependents, you can still bring your dependents. But any new applications from the 11th or after the 11th will not be allowed to bring any dependents with them, that is your partner or any children. Question number two that was asked, or I would say there was a sense of confusion about this one, was what is the new immigration salary list and how is it different from the shortage occupation list? So if you've been following my content on Instagram, or if you've been following other content creators who create a lot of content about the UK work visas and the works, then the shortage occupation list was a list of occupations that the UK needed, or there was an immense demand for these occupations in the UK because of lack of labor in the UK labor market. And it had all those occupations listed down with whatever their salaries annually would be. Now that has been replaced, or in fact re-examined, and they've come up with a new list of occupations, which is the immigration salary list, which has all these occupations that come under the immigration salary list, and it has two salary rates, going rates, that are mentioned on it. The first one is the standard going rate, which is when it applies to you if you're applying for it after 4th of April. And then there is a lower going rate which applies to you if you are a new entrant, or if you have applied, or if you've been on the skilled worker visa before the 4th of April, or if you fall under the category of people who can be paid less, like a new entrant, somebody who's under the age of 26, and somebody who's been on the graduate visa. Like I mentioned previously in the video, that there are some occupations that can be paid less than the skilled worker visa salary threshold, which is 38,700. And the third question, the final one, is whether or not the UK is still a good place to come to work. And I feel that's a very, very personal question and a personal choice that each one makes in their life, depending on what the economy looks like, depending on what the lifestyle is like, depending on the work culture, depending on the salaries, depending on how easy or how welcoming a country is in terms of what your background is professionally and what you bring to the table. So I feel one needs to really weigh the pros and cons and understand the industry in the UK, and then make a decision whether or not you should move to the UK for work, or whether or not you should stay in the UK after your studies to work for a company. Because I feel that different countries have different things to offer at this point and at any point. And with all the changes that have taken place, UK does need some people, but not everyone. And they have made it very, very transparent. And that's the reason they've made everything so strict, because they know this is the talent that the country needs, and this is the talent that we have enough of. So if you feel that you can add to what the country needs, and if you feel that the country is looking for the skills that you have, or if you can build those skills, then I feel you should definitely move to the UK to work. Figure it out, see the work culture, and then if you feel it's not working for you, then you have good 5 years to decide that. And if not, then maybe it's a different country, different opportunity, different workspace that works for you. And we've come to the end of this video finally, and I hope you found this video useful. I've come back on YouTube after ages, I would say, but I still find it amazing to be able to simplify something and be able to deliver it in a way that someone else can understand and make sense of it. So if you did make sense of it, please do subscribe to the channel, because I will be sharing a lot of more videos where I can simplify all these new updates and so much more complex news that comes in every once in a while in the UK, because there's so much changing. And if there's something that you did not understand, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. I will come back and reply to you in the comment section, or create a separate video explaining that concept for you. But thank you for watching till the end. If you're still here, and for any new video recommendations that you feel you need help with, definitely let me know, and follow me on Instagram as well, because I post a lot of short, quick content over there that can be very easy to grasp. But if you want something more detailed, then this is where you need to find me. Have a good day.